out there, YouTube.
This is SEL0320.
Joe Johnson 030.
Representing JBS. We are back again for another 2-episode review for the second season of Daredevil. This is episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is, I might get the name wrong, I apologize if I do, Kinbaku. And then the 6th episode is Regrets Only. So Kinbaku, episode 5 is a huge shift in things that are going on, because coming off the last episode, Frank Castle turning himself in, Matt Murdock giving the cops the recognition of capturing him, and at the same time there's a real breakthrough that happens in my opinion, for Frank Castle and Matt Murdock's relationship and understanding and relatability, and I think that it's going to progress really further. But either way, in this one, like the end of last episode, you know, Matt is finally smitten with Karen, and at the same exact time, he gets to his house just to find out that his old flame is back, and his old flame is Elektra. And oh my gosh, so this episode, this is really all Elektra, Matt, Karen, and Foggy centered, but more than anything, definitely Elektra. You get to see how Elektra changes him, how she elevates him, and how she can potentially really bring him down. Because they show a lot of the flashbacks, and I think that was one of the things I really liked about this episode, seeing Matt out of the element that we know him, and a lot younger, and a lot more, you know, abrasive versus kind of reserved back. What were some of the things you liked about episode 5?
Oh man, it was great pace.
Yeah, it was.
'Cause I mean, like we just seen Punisher, and right off the bat they introduced Elektra, so it's like they waste no time, and it's a lot that goes on with each episode. It's like you're watching, like, you watch 2 episodes, you feel like you watch a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part about this episode is just, I like the way they did her character. I mean, she is just wild. She's a wild card, y'all.
Yeah.
I really enjoy how they did that. Told her story.
Yeah. Well, me and Joe, we did a reaction to it, and like a lot of times we were kind of just like, because you're looking at it, you know, you got like certain people that you are attracted to, but they are not necessarily good for you, and at the same time, exactly, she might be kind of crazy. She's
crazy, y'all.
But the thing about it though, she had made a statement, is that she was in love with the darker parts of him, and he, for that reason, was the same. You know, it's just they had lines, they had boundaries, and his extended only, but so far hers, she had no filter.
She has none.
And it's crazy watching them when they were younger, like how they interacted. And at the same time, like,
that was nuts.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
it's crazy.
Oh wow, we can't even talk about that. Because it paralleled, it directly paralleled the opposite end of that with Matt and Karen having their first date. And I thought that was really touching, it was really sweet. I got kind of envious, honestly. But I thought that they treated her relationship situation a lot better than I thought they could have. You know what I'm saying? I really liked that about that episode. Wasn't as, like, how do I put it, fast-paced or anything like that. But it did have a really good cliffhanger, because Elektra puts Matt in a really compromising situation now. And at the same time, like, it opened up for a really interesting action sequence that came into the next episode. I'm kind of torn. Wasn't as good as some of the episodes I've seen. I'd probably give this one 8 or maybe 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't bad, because I really liked the fact that it's believable that this girl is an assassin. It's believable that she's devious, very sensual, but at the same exact time, like, you can see there's a real connection, chemistry between them. So I don't know. I mean, either 8 or 8.5 out of 10. What do you give that?
I give it an 8.
8 out of 10. The next one, the name of it, episode 6, is Regrets Only. And this one, remember, we're talking about episode 6, so we're going to be having to spoil a couple things from the next episode. So if you haven't seen episode 5, make sure you go, put this in the watch later, come back to it, and then, you know, do what you got to do. So regrets only. I really liked it. I don't know. I'm torn with that one, to be quite honest with you, because it fronts lines right out the last episode. Matt and Elektra, basically they're confronting each other because Elektra has basically had this coup or play to bring the Yakuza to her. And I mean, before, like, you know, you saw her working with the organization, doing this stuff behind the scenes, and Matt and Daredevil feel like two different entities in the way that they approach things. And it's really strange. But in this situation, it was like, in this episode, he had to be both at the same time. And he had to compromise himself in a lot of different ways. Because most of the fighting that Charlie Cox does, he doesn't do in his costume in this episode. Only the beginning of the episode, she tanks him and is like, look, I got your costume. I need your help. Let's protect this. And I like that. That sequence in the beginning was actually pretty dope. And it's pretty well choreographed too. Like, it was really fluid. I did like, I guess, the chemistry moments where they were kind of like coming off of each other as like interaction. Like, you're my ex, but at the same time, I'm going to try to help you. And it was really interesting. But I guess the highlight would be, for me, this episode would be Frank Castle. Everything about him, like, he's just one of those characters that has such an interesting backstory that's just captivating for me personally. But what were some of the things you liked about this episode, or anything you agree with me on it?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that I like how you see Elektra's influence on Matt. Because, I mean, the decision she makes, she definitely speaks to, like, his Daredevil side, or, you know what I'm saying, that kind of darker side to him, which he, you know, in earlier episodes, you would see him in fight scenes or whatever, just, like, kind of grinning or smiling, because a part of him actually enjoys, you know what I'm saying, what he does, and she definitely appeals to that side of him. So, and she's definitely, like, just, like, really like a wild card. Like, she's all over the place, very unpredictable in the way she goes about approaching things. And matter of fact, Matt, he doesn't even know the full extent of her plans a lot of the time. He's going along with her. So that the spontaneity and the difference as far as, like, what we've seen, how we've seen Matt behave or goes about tackling, like, different issues. So, I mean, this one, and to me, I think it's going to have ramifications in the future, because they seem a little, because, like, there was a couple fight scenes where Matt wasn't in his costume. And I think that's going to have to play out in the future, but I don't know. And it's definitely entertaining to see them, like, go and fight people and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's on the backside of me is like, or the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, this is kind of sloppy. Like, their plans, they're good, they're efficient, but at the same time, I don't think it's so spontaneous, short notice. I don't think they actually, like, sat down and think, like, the ramifications of the actions. You know what I'm saying?
So you think they're kind of like doing with the flashbacks, living in the moment and just doing.
Oh yeah, they're definitely living in the moment. But I think I want to see how that plays out in the future.
Yeah.
But I definitely like this episode. Definitely the danger that was there. It's a change up in how we see Matt. Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, and I mean, just the last touch. One thing I did like is the chemistry with Frank and Karen in this episode. Like, it was unexpected, but I did think it was interesting in the last episode when she started investigating, like, what happened to Frank and, like, his family, and going to his house and breaking in, and like, him singling her out and wanting to make conversation for the first time. I thought that those moments were really pivotal to his characterization. I think that those are going to play out really well, but there's going to be ramifications of that if Frank is talking with Karen and Daredevil / Matt's talking with Karen. Like, she's going to be a target at some point. Mm-hmm. So we'll hopefully see where that goes. I probably give this episode the same thing. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was a little, to me, like, I don't know. it wasn't as epic as the first 4 or 5 episodes, but I still really enjoyed it, and I still liking the character development. But what do you give this episode for a number?
Yeah, I will give this one an 8 as well. I definitely expected to pick up, man, because I feel like Elektra and Matt, I think they like stirred up a hornet's nest, you know.
Yeah. I think that the involvement is going to definitely tie into some people in the first season, specifically when they were talking about something that happened. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Leave a like below if you did. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. We'll be back tomorrow for maybe episodes 7 and 8. Peace, y'all.
Deuce.